let's talk about what we're on defense here, because these guys have been the stars of the season here is the Giants defense. And we're going to be playing an Eagles team that, let's be very frank, we've struggled to play against the last couple of years. But this is a totally different Giants defense. This is a totally different Eagles offense. Yep. This is not the same on either side of the last couple of years. The first thing we got to talk about, obviously, is the offensive line, because that's the bread and butter of what the Eagles have been the last couple of years. Absolutely. And when I mean the bread and butter, I mean like the honey butter they serve at that Texas Roadhouse. Like, that's the kind of butter it's been. Because let's be honest, guys, we try to be honest about our thoughts on things, and we try to take our Giants fan cap off there. This has been one of the best offensive lines, if not the best offensive line in all of football the last couple of years. Not this year.
You got your stud center, who's been probably one of the best, if not the best, for the past how many years?
Yeah.
Finally retires.
Got one more old guy hanging on hope. Got one more we'll get rid of, but even like Jordan Mailata is has been a really good left tackle, but he's actually going to be injured in this game. He's got he's going to be injured this game. It makes it sound like I'm putting a hit on him.
I was about to say, I'm like,
be injured this game. Yeah, don't you know?
Dark real fast.
He got injured last game, so he's going to be injured for where he can't play in the game.
He's going to be out this game due to injury.
I can talk well. So the Eagles haven't announced who's going to be taking his spot, but it would be expected it's either to be their swing tackle, Fred Johnson, or possible wild card on this, Mekhi Becton, who's their right guard. Now, yes, that Mekhi Becton, the ex-Jet, who has been actually playing very well at the guard position this season there, since the Eagles have converted him over after falling flat in his face there and getting injured every other week there with the Jets. Again, like you mentioned, longtime center Jason Kelsey has retired. Cam Jurgens has been replaced him and actually played pretty well, but he's no Kelsey. He's not the same standard that Kelsey provided at that point. He's an above average center, not a Pro Bowl center. There is a difference, obviously.
There's a big difference.
And we talked about the last couple of games. Right tackle has been an issue for the teams we've been facing lately. And we saw what happened last week with Aziz Ojulari just absolutely owning Mims the entire game, which, again, we called on the program. Just saying, we might know what we're talking about. This is not the case, though, guys. Lane Johnson is still an Eagle. He's the old man left standing, basically, on this offensive line. And he's been great, as he always is. He's been one of the best right tackles in all of football still. So you look at what the weaknesses are, though. And again, this was an offensive line that all around was absolutely spectacular the last couple of years. This year, they've had problems with pass protection. They're giving up sacks on 8.19% of passing plays. That's 22nd in the league, guys.
Whoa.
That's not good. But
sexy dances.
While I expect us to exploit that because of the fact that we do lead the league in sacks, Hurts has literally been sacked 14 games, by the way, guys, and 14
games, 14 times.
He's sacked 14 games. He's been sacked.
It's amazing. He only played 6 or 5.
Don't make fun of me. He's been sacked 14 times in 5 games. All of last year, he was sacked just 36 times. So, yeah, that means he's on pace for about 50. So that's a pretty sizable chunk more. But the unit is still really good at run blocking. And that's been an issue for our defense. That's what's got me most worried over anything in this entire game here, as far as what our defense is going to do against this offense, is we lucked out last week because the Bengals didn't run the ball. If we're being honest, as good as the defense looked, the defense did not do good at stopping the run. They just didn't run very often. And I think if they committed to the run, they would have actually probably beaten us much easier than they did, because we have trouble stopping the run. It would have taken time off the clock at that point. It would have been a much more dominant performance by the Bengals than what it was in a game that, quite frankly, we should have won, but only because they didn't run the ball. This team's going to run. This team, we're not to worry about. Okay, well, thank God they didn't run the ball very much. No, they're going to run. They're going to do it. So this defense has got to be ready to go. Let's go over some of the stars of the offense, so to speak, here for the Eagles.
Ooh.
Jalen Hurts, 67.5 completion percentage. It looks like 37 some weeks. He hasn't had his best been very good at times this year. 1,194 yards, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's got 56 rushes, by the way, which is on pace for a career high for him. 196 yards, 3.5 yard per carry average, which is actually down from 4.7 last year. 4.7 for his career. So it's a yard and a quarter base. That's a big chunk difference there. He's also got 2 touchdowns, and he had 15 last year. He was only on pace for about 7. So he's on pace for about less than half the touchdowns he had last year rushing the ball too.
Yeah, I mean he's also on pace to have career high rushing because he's got a terrible offensive. Well, say terrible. A way
less
bad
pass protecting offensive line.
Yeah, from what he's used to.
That's fair.
Yeah, from what he's used to. So he's running for his life a little bit.
Yeah.
Listen, as Giants fans, we're used to that.
He's also got issues with his weapons not being healthy. So AJ Brown's only played 2 games. He played week 1. He played last week.
Listen, I have him on fantasy football. It's been terrible.
Thanks. Well, no, but here's the thing: when he has played, he's played very good.
Oh, 100% right. But
this hasn't
played
for 3 of the 5 games they've had. 11 catches, 235 yards, and 2 touchdowns in 2 games. I would take that in a heartbeat if a Giants player did that. Devonta Smith, 4 games, so he also missed a game. By the way, one of the games that AJ Brown missed, which was crazy. They literally didn't have Smith or Brown for a game. 24 catches, 303 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Dallas Goedert has also been a very big part of their offense as well, because he's actually been in all 5 games, which really helps make you a big part of the offense when you're healthy. Nobody else is. 24 catches, 301 yards there. Now, he is dealing with a hamstring issue, same as their left tackle there. So he may also not be available for the game. We'll have to kind of see as things get closer at that point there. But yeah, like I said, definitely had some issues. But again, how much of the issue on their passing is the fact that their weapons have been healthy? It's like, how good is our offense without Neighbors or Wan'Dale? And let's be very frank, Wan'Dale and Neighbors don't have the pedigree that Brown and Smith do. You can make the case that Neighbors could be a better receiver than Brown if he continues playing the way he's played. But I think it's disrespectful. As much as I love to disrespect Eagles, I won't do that in this case. It'd be disrespectful to say Neighbors is a better player right now than Brown. Brown has the pedigree, and Neighbors has played well in 4 games.
No, you're not wrong for saying that. And that's exactly the point I was going to make. Like, Brown, you have Brown and Devontae Smith. They both have tenure in the NFL and proven themselves compared to
receivers.
Yep. Compared to like Neighbors, who's played 4 games.
Like a good Neighbors.
He'll catch the ball in the end zone. And Wan'Dale, he's still very young to the NFL. Like he came out, what's his 3rd year now?
Yeah, but he's only played like a year and a half.
I was about to say, but he tore his ACL and he didn't really play his rookie year. They did what the Giants always do. They don't really start their new receivers unless they get a shiny brand new weapon in the first round, like Neighbors.
Like top 10 picks guy.
Yeah, some guy like that, whatever. But I mean, his rookie year, he didn't really come out and start playing until like week 6, 7.
When he got hurt against the Lions, the one game he had that was a 100-yard game.
Yeah, that was fantastic. But yeah, well, it was fantastic to the 3rd quarter.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying? Like they have the potential to be this caliber of players, but they don't have the tenure for us to say that. So you're right, it would be disrespectful.
Yeah, but I guess but also brings us back to what we were saying before. Like, they're 3-2. They've been missing their top receiver for all but 2 games. They've been close in every single game. They got injuries on the offensive line. Like, this has not been. And again, I'm not trying to make excuses for the Eagles. Like we all have injuries. We're all dealing with stuff in the NFL. Look at what's going on with us. We got no Andrew Thomas. We've had no Neighbors the last couple weeks. No Singletary. I'm just saying, I wonder if this is a team that they get back to healthy and they get back to playing like they were playing. And I don't know that because, again, they how bad they played towards the end of last year, it won't allow me to have confidence in saying that's going to happen. But I can be confident saying that's a potential to happen as they get healthy and get everybody back and stuff like that. So, yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens on Sunday. But it's going to be I'm kind of curious to see what happens with this team against this defense, though, purely because of the fact that we have trouble stopping the run, and this is a team that's a run-first team. That's an issue. So,
yes,
we'll see what happens there. But
if you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.